Back off. Back off. This is it. Heal. Yeah.
Sam. Cam. Salmon Cam.
Well, I'm not.
Hello, this is the same old song and dance, but we are free of lingering will.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm not even gonna do no movement stuff wrong. I'm just going to do whatever I want.
Welcome to a new era. This is the era where lingering will is fucking dead. I mean, technically he's not, but
yeah,
don't actually kill him.
So this is our plan for basically what we're going to do is after I die or win, most likely die, I will we will what's it called? We're going to start grinding to unlock the Hades Paradox Cup.
Yeah, which requires max levels in every form and the summon gauge. And then really outside of that cup, which I think level-wise I'm already overqualified, so it shouldn't be too bad. Other than that, there's just Hunter X. And then
Hunter X is probably going to be the last thing we're doing.
Yeah, and then that's it. Then this whole run, this whole playthrough is over.
So let's clarify something. We're not going to record the entire...
Yeah, we're not going to record the grinding, essentially.
Yeah. So we're just going to have a little short video explaining... Okay. What's going on? That was weird. That was weird.
That was very weird.
And you're going to see a little bit of just us playing around while we talk a little bit, but this video's not going to be long. And then you might see some snippets of our grinding after it, but we're not going to record the whole thing.
If something sufficiently funny or interesting happens,
we'll just tag it on at the end or the beginning of the next video. But yeah.
But
so that's that.
We're out of here, I guess.
Yeah, we're see you later, Tara.
So the real question is, where are we dropping, boys?
Okay, what do you need to grind?
Let's find out. Oh, I should no. We're gonna go back in for just a second, so I can look at my status. Okay. So let's see. I need 436 to get to this. Max level is 7. It seems on everything.
Yes.
I assume including the summon gauge.
Yes.
So let's see. I've already got limit maxed. I've already got final maxed. Valor is very close. Wisdom is less close, but I'm close to leveling it up once, and Master is the farthest away from being leveled.
Okay, so let's do Master first, because there's a very easy way to get it up.
Okay.
So let's do it. Let's go to Beast's Keist. Oh, actually, before that, do final form and then get out of here.
Okay.
Give me strength.
Now get out of here.
Oh, right. So that we reset anti-form, right?
Yes. And go to Beast's Keist and just drop in on the parlor. So here's this little farming trick that works at any point in the game once you get Master Form. We didn't do it because we're not filthy grinders, but unfortunately, this is a part of the game that actually requires you to be a filthy grinder. Go to the West Wing, I think. West Hall? The one with the nut soldiers.
Yeah, I think that's up the stairs.
You know, a lot of people are like, oh man, Kingdom Hearts 2 is like the perfect action RPG, and it's like, well,
this is one of its few flaws.
Yeah, it's like, alright, you gotta grind to...
I hesitate to even call that grinding, because my definition of grinding, and we've had this conversation before in like our personal Discord chats and stuff. My definition of grinding here, right?
Yes, but you're gonna have to get the Rare Heartless.
That's fine.
Well, actually do Master Form right now. and then see if it works. Anyway, destroy a soldier.
Let's go.
What is your definition of grinding?
It's very narrow because I feel like
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
if grinding is it's I would consider it narrow because it presumes it has to be something optional. Like if you need to, like I don't consider it grinding if you have to do something to unlock something else.
I wouldn't agree with that. You know why? Because you can have a game where you have to grind, and it's not optional. And I would say that's a flaw. I would say that's bad.
Well, it's still a flaw. I'm just saying
and this is one of the parts you have to do it. And then the other thing is, here's the definition of grind. The dictionary definition of grind. It is a boring, repetitive task. And that's what this is.
Is the goal to just get these?
Those soldiers at the beginning there, they drop a bunch of drive orbs. That's it. Leave the world, come back in, go master form.
Okay, that's easy enough.
In fact, you can go to the save point, go into final form, and then leave because you have enough drive for that.
Right.
So that way you don't just get anti-form.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
It's over.
yeah. So, you want to equip your Lucky Luckies?
Yeah. Actually, do I really?
You don't need to. Just for fun. Just for fun.
Well, isn't there a thing where you can get more drops? That's probably the stuff I'd want to equip, right?
Well, yes, but that's why I don't know if that works for objects, and that's why you have lucky memories. I think sweet memories.
The sweet
on
memories.
master form.
Lucky memories.
So
yeah, let's see. Drive converter. Do I have that? Let's just make sure. I know that's an ability I can do standalone. I just want to know if I have it.
yes,
I do
you have that. So you could take off like fire. Let's take off stuff you don't need. So you don't need fire boost. Let's see.
I don't really need Trinity.
You don't need Trinity, right?
I can probably put on some of my combo pluses or something.
Well, let's get the other stuff first. You can probably take off a finishing plus.
I like finishing plus though. It's just cool. I like finishers. Let's see. Drive converter.
Okay, you can take off like combination boost and magic lock on.
I mean, we don't need to take everything off. All I need is drive.
No, but let's get the Lucky Luckies because you're gonna be fighting enemies.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I don't really need these draws. Actually.
You need jackpot.
Yeah. Let's see. Actually, no. I'm gonna leave those because I will be picking up orbs and things. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll take off. What is it? Combination boost.
Yeah. Magic lock on.
Magic lock on.
Multi lock on. You know what multi lock on is?
What?
We've literally had this conversation before. I think even Kingdom Hearts 1. Multi lock on is what's it called? He is an animator. And I don't know if he's done anything since, but he made Doorbuster. Remember the stick figure fighting the door?
Oh yeah.
That's multi-log. Look, if you look at that GIF, it's signed multi-log on.
That's cool. I'll take off like one draw, I guess. And then I just need 4 more.
No, you don't. You need three more. You have 2 AP
right,
free.
I need 3 more. I'll take off another draw. I don't need that many.
Lucky. And then the rest of your party?
Oh, yeah. Well, Donald
he
is
has
fine.
it. It's
He's
fine.
got one. And then
Goofy. Item boost.
Doesn't really need defender either.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So let's.
And then go back in. And
You need to You need to go. Did you come back in the world?
Yeah.
Okay. So then then you can just hit those statues again. I wonder who like the first guy to come up with the idea of like knight armor statues. Like everybody who came in must have thought he had like a full armed guard at all times.
I want to use master here because some of these enemies drop drive orbs too.
Yes, and you have drive converter.
That just looks cool. Nice.
Level 6.
Give me strength.
We truly are 100% this game, huh? Somehow we have 100%ed Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I mean, okay, we didn't.
Well,
do
we didn't actually 100% Kingdom Hearts 1.
We basically did.
We basically did.
Like, are you really gonna be like, oh no, you gotta do all the mini games, you gotta do all the Coliseum time trials?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we like 99%ed it.
It is a functional 100%.
Yeah. That's all the statues, right? Oh,
Yes.
I can kill
Yes.
these enemies, I guess.
It is indeed all the stats.
After all, they drop drive orbs too.
Give me strength. Back off. Give me strength.
Oh yeah, so
Give me strength.
I don't really care about talking about this on recording, but I don't really know what we're going to be like watching today, if anything.
Give me strength.
I don't know if you have an idea.
I don't.
Okay, because
Unless the only thing I was thinking was Mandalorian, but
I mean we could let's see if I can like get Ilya's login information, we could do that. But I also had like another idea instead of just starting something new,
okay.
which wouldn't necessarily be watching something. At least you would still be watching. But I just wanted to show you something. I wanted to do something.
Okay.
But it wouldn't be like so super active. I could still like, eat chips during it.
That's fine too.
Okay. Okay, so basically what I was going to do when I wanted to show you
Oh. Right, no.
I wanted to like I wanted to show you me playing through the beginning of Final Fantasy 1.
Okay.
That's just a regular slow turn-based RPG.
Actually.
It is a turn-based RPG, it's not slow. It's very not slow, but
Yeah,
it is.
Isn't it? Wait, is it ATB or did that come?
It is, the ATB was Final Fantasy 4.
Okay.
It is turn-based. Like Sam, I'm not being enigma here. I'm not saying, oh, it's turn-based and it's ATB. That is an oxymoron. That is a contradiction. It is turn-based also. Like literally, we could just be chill talking about it, and I could just slowly like poke through it with one hand. It's nothing. No big deal. Oh, and I also wanted to show you Dragon Quest 1. Dragon Quest 1 not as much, just both those. And basically, I might as well ask you now, while we are still recording, what do you know about both of those games?
Very little. Specifically, I know more stuff about Final Fantasy as a whole, obviously.
Yes.
I mean, that's no surprise. But a lot of that is also just from Kingdom Hearts. So, but Final Fantasy 1 in particular, I know very little of.
So Sam, you know how I don't really...
And then I know, like, nothing about Dragon Quest.
Okay.
Like what little I know about Dragon Quest is from Smash, basically.
Okay, so Sam,
And none of that's Dragon Quest 1 as far as I know.
yeah, Dragon Quest 1, the only Dragon Quest 1 rep is in the final Smash, funnily enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Sam, I've told you before that it's a little hard for me to get into turn-based RPGs, right?
Yeah.
That's actually not really that true anymore. I've been finding more and more turn-based RPGs that I'm actually getting into, to the point where I'm just like, okay, so I just had a little bit of bad experience. And it wasn't even that those RPGs were bad. I was like, I really wanted to play them. I just, didn't really have the patience for at that time. My patience is better now, but it's still not enough to like get into all the same ones. And B, the main thing was for me that what's it called? I just needed like
Nice.
it wasn't engaging me enough on a like press buttons level.
Yeah.
Even if it was intellectually engaging me in an RPG sense.
You like to be, I think, more physically challenged, I guess.
Not necessarily, because I'm okay with like
I mean, you like to be challenged in general. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
like I'm not. I didn't mean that like you don't value an intellectual challenge or something.
Because like here's the thing,
You like puzzle games. You like Fire Emblem.
Yes, I can do puzzle games. I could do even slow play Fire Emblem. I could do Fire Emblem. I could do a lot of strategy RPGs, and I play Pokemon.
I think more the problem with a lot of turn-based RPGs, at least from what I remember from some of the conversations, is a lot of the ones I think that like gave you a poor view of the whole kind of genre, I guess. Those tend to be, how do I want to say this? Like, I don't want to, like, reductive is not really the right word. I think it's like, it's very easy to settle into a strategy and then not encounter that much where you, like, need to...
No, that's never happened for me. I think you're thinking of Enigma. Because that's literally what happened with Enigma in Bravely Default. That never happened to me, though.
Well, see, the thing is, the difference there is she sought out the optimization.
Yeah, and then it became a problem with her when an RPG is explicitly you're not supposed to do that.
What I mean more is that even if it's not optimal, you could come across a strat that's like never challenged by the game.
Yeah, sure, but you know, thing is that you have to pretty much like look things up and grind for it in like every RPG. Mm-hmm. You have like, I'm talking about like my first time through an RPG. I don't really know much, and my problem was purely that like even if I was having fun on a like what's it called? Even if I thought the game was good and I was having fun on a level of I'm being like intellectually challenged here, I just felt like I want to be going through this like I want to be pressing more buttons. That's really it. I know it sounds like really bad, but that's it. Like, you know, if it's not fun, it's not fun, and it's no matter how well it's made. And no matter how fun the other aspects are, sometimes it can be something as simple as that. Mm. And I would never say it's bad, or even say it's fun. That was really
actually
cool parry.
Really cool.
Really cool parry. I am.
That's like, I don't mean to like just derail the conversation a bit, but like I just want to say, you can tell that Kingdom Hearts 2 is a cool game. It's like just a really good game because even this late, like we are pretty much completely done. We have like literally 2 more things,
and one of them isn't even like a combat thing. One of them is part of the other game that's inside this game.
Yeah, and like despite that, I'm still finding cool things where I'm like, holy shit, that was awesome.
Yeah,
and I can't believe I did.
Sam, I want to tell you that's not even a Kingdom Hearts specific thing. That's just an action game.
No, I know that. But like, to me, that's like a really high mark of quality, even by action game standards, where maybe that sort of thing happens more often. Like, if a game can engage you that much and make you still be amazed at the cool shit that happens, nice. Even this late, like, it's just really fun, like, from beginning to end.
I mean, it's probably true because, like, you know,
and that's a hard thing for games to do, action or not. It's hard for a game to be as engaging late game as it is early game, like, when you know
that's certainly true because, like, no one's like no one who's played Battletoads NES 10 times is finding new stuff in it. Partially because Battletoads NES stops focusing on the action later on in the game, which that's a whole another other story. But you know, on the other hand, I don't know if I've told you this. You're by the way, you're done with Master Form.
Yeah,
you can go on to the next one. I don't know if I've told you this, but like,
it's fun.
You remember Turtles in Time?
Yes.
And remember how I keep telling you the SNES version is a completely different game from the arcade version?
Yeah.
There's an entire attack, a whole attack that's part of the Turtles in Base move set that I had no idea about until last year.
Wow.
And I regularly once you see the game on hard mode and have done so since I was a kid. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here.
You just know a lot about the game.
I know the game down pat. And then suddenly last year I'm talking to my friend who I mostly talk to for Tales related things. It turns out we both played Turtles in Time.
Where should I go for Valor and Wisdom? Should I just do
for Valor, I would say Cave of Remembrance because they have a lot of HP there.
Okay.
And then for Wisdom, I would say Cave of Wonders.
Okay. So we'll do Valor because I'm close to doing that. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, and what's it called? He had not 1CC'd the game before. He was like, I was just talking about 1CCing Turtles in Time, and he was like, oh yeah, I haven't actually done that. And I was just talking about the general strategies, and I'm not gonna say it here because we're gonna do a whole video on that. But I share my general strategies, and he goes like, oh yeah, so then that would make sense. I could just then use this move to help with that. And I'm like, what move? He's like, oh yeah, this move. If you just do this, you get this move. I'm like, huh? And then he's like, yeah, Michelangelo uses it at the end of the first attract mode. And then and I was like, and I looked up the first attract mode. The first attract mode, I'm pretty sure is Leo. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. And he's like, oh, right. I was thinking of the second attract mode. I remember him doing that move, wondering how I did it, and then figuring out how to do it myself. And I'm like, and I look, and lo and behold, Michelangelo does it in the second attract mode. And it's like, it's not even like, oh yeah, you gotta experiment to get this move. No, they put it in the attract mode. We've had this conversation before. Like, the part of the thing with these old game design is that they have these things like attract modes, and they are there actually to help you figure out how to play.
Yeah.
And so they intentionally do that move. That's not incidental. They did that move, and then they recorded that and they put it in attract mode, and that is how we know to do it. And that's not the only example of the game putting secret like that in attract mode. God damn, you're doing too much damage, even if you can't remembrance.
Yeah, these enemies are. I'm like two-shotting them now.
Yeah. But I was like, wow. Damn.
I almost one-shot the fucking car.
Think about what you said, Sam. And then I was just...
Could you imagine that? Like, it's like, remember the first time I countered that enemy and got fucking bodied?
Yeah.
And now it's like, I can one-shot you almost with the finisher.
Yeah. I mean, you're still getting bodied, but nice parry. What the hell? What's going on? I mean, it's similar to the parries I pulled off, actually. If you remember that clip. But yeah, so then I was just like, oh my god, this literally changes everything. This changes my entire strat. This one attack, it's not even like, oh yeah, this is one attacking you. Like, this attack is major.
It's over.
It's like, and I'm like, I cannot believe I've apparently never paid attention to the second attack mode,
It's over.
but it literally does change everything, and I'm like, this is absolutely incredible.
Back off.
And that's a good action game, you know.
Give me strength.
What's it called? Hideki Kamiya has actually stated that Turtles in Time was one of his biggest influences as an action game developer.
That's cool.
And as someone who plays Turtles in Time so much, I can see that. Remember how I said that, what's it called? Like, I was able to figure out, you never see that animation.
Back off.
The what's it called? Valor blocking animation?
Yeah.
You have to parry specific attacks to see that. Anyway, so, yeah. What was I saying? Remember how I said when I figured out revenge counters when I was 6 years old? I did fought Riku in Destiny Islands, and I was like, okay, 4 hits. And then Enigma said something along the same lines, right?
Yeah.
Enigma's the more impressive one here, even though she never did. I mean, it ended up not actually, what's it called, applying the skill. Because it's not fair for me to say, oh yeah, I figured it out when I was 6 years old. That's because I had already played Turtles in Time.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
it's not the first time you've seen the mechanic.
Yeah. And now, granted, I did know about revenge counters in Turtles in Time at 4 years old, but I don't actually know how I figured it out. If I even figured it out. I could have been told. I don't think I was been told because I don't think anyone else in my family knows about the bosses in Turtles in Time as much as I do. But I don't even know. But you know, I think I did figure it out because it's a lot more obvious in that game. Like, it is literally just after the end of your combo.
Nice.
So, like, you know, Riku was trickier because it's after 4 hits, so you have to do a combo within an extra hit. But in Turtles in Time, for like at least a couple of the bosses, it's literally just your whole combo. And so it was just like, okay, so after I do finish the combo, I just move away. So, you know, it's easy. So then when I got to Riku, I'm like, okay, same principle, just a different number of hits.
Take this.
Nice.
And then you remember, Turtles in Time also has throws. You know, a lot of action games even now don't have throws. That's literally was God of War's signature thing.
Yeah, which makes me sad that they
And they got rid of it. But at least Devil May Cry has it now. It didn't originally, but they added throws in 4, and they made it even better in 5.
They were like, no throws in new God of War. I got you, fam.
And it's really weird because when Devil May Cry 4 first came out, everybody is like, haha, they're just trying to ape on God of War with the throws. And that's probably true, actually. It's not a bad thing.
No.
I don't see that as a complaint, but it's probably true. But then, you know, God of War just got rid of throws, and DMC 5 still has throws. So it's like, who wins here, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Turtles. Yeah, Turtles in Time is just like, I'm like, yeah, like that is the foundation for Turtles in Time SNES, not arcade. Turtles in Time SNES is the foundation for like all of my skills as an action gamer. Like, in my mind, okay, so to the world, I am a Kingdom Hearts / Tales player, Sam. You would agree?
Yes.
In my mind, I am a Devil May Cry / God of War player. I bring a unique perspective to my Kingdom Hearts and Tales content as a God of War / not God of War, God Hand rather, but also God of War, God Hand / Devil May Cry player. But in my heart, I'm a Turtles in Time player. That's really all it comes down to. At the end of the day, like, that's all it is. Nice parry.
Intentional that time.
Yep. You're really bringing out that KH1 here.
Take this.
The best way to deal with those guys while I'm in Valor form too.
Yeah, Battle form is ridiculously good at parries because, you know, there's 2 Keyblades.
Yeah.
This is it.
So yeah, so basically, like, Turtle of Time is just a beat 'em up. You know, people act like those are just like such simplistic button mashes, but you know,
Which is annoying because so many of the beat 'em ups that have come out recently have like full-on fighting game
forget
movesets
recently,
and
Sam.
combos.
That's just how beat 'em ups are. The problem is that the most popular beat 'em ups, unfortunately, are Konami beat 'em ups, and they're all trash except for Turtle in Time SNES. Like, okay, I mean, they're not trash as in they're like unfun, boring messes. They're fun if you go through it, but that's it. Okay, that's it. Meanwhile, you play a game like even Final Fight, which came out before them, and Final Fight has throws. And Final Fight has combos into throws. And Final Fight has like this very, very good enemy design, boss design, and weapon mechanics and all that stuff. And that's like the first beat 'em up. Then you get to like other things like Dungeons and Dragons, Shadow of Mystara. I don't know if you know about that game.
Let's go.
I do not.
That's a Capcom beat 'em up using the Dungeons and Dragons IP.
Take this.
What's it called? River City Ransom. You know, everybody like was all up on River City Girls, but I don't know if, do you remember when I made this whole clip about how River City Ransom has Kingdom Hearts style parries if you have a weapon?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, including the ping. Like, you can literally hit other weapons and other projectiles back, and it does a ping. And it's like, this is an NES game. Okay, so this, and River City Ransom also has throws and combos into throws and wall bounces and launchers on the NES.
Yeah.
Then there's, of course, like the biggest example would be Alien vs. Predator from Capcom. Like, here's a really great thing about Alien vs. Predator by Capcom. There are gun weapons, and the guns don't use ammo. They use heat. I think it's like overheat, and if the gun's overheated, and you press the fire button, it goes overheat. But the thing is, you can combo into a gunshot. You can do like regular attacks and then fire your gun. But if your gun is overheated, then and it just says overheat, what it actually just does is it'll set you to neutral.
Nice.
So people intentionally overheat their gun and then do these melee combos and they cancel it by pressing fire while it's overheated, and then just continue doing more melee combos. And then you can, and there's throw loops, and it's like, yes, this is a licensed game. Like, people have a problem, like for some reason, when like even if a licensed game is like well received, people have a problem like
It's over.
admitting it's done something unique and advances like
Take this.
games as a whole. Like, you know, like
I mean, I do understand where that comes from, and I think it's just because so many licensed games are just absolute trash.
no, but Sam, I'm talking about like a licensed game can be really popular and well liked and well received, but no one would ever admit its influence,
Take this.
even if it has it. And so my biggest example is like, so nowadays, like what's very regular in games is to just have constant dialogue, like over gameplay and action, just have characters just talk it out and stuff, right?
Back off.
And it's not even like, you know, like scripted dialogue. It could just be like random dialogue, alongside scripted dialogue per level, quips, you know, stuff like that. It's constant talking. It's common. It's really common. Kingdom Hearts 3 has it, by the way.
Yeah.
What's it called? And the thing, the game that is sort of credited for popularizing it, the game that's sort of credited for doing it, okay, is Uncharted. And yeah, Uncharted did do it, and it probably is why that became popular. Is that Max, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
So on to Cave of Wonders.
But that's, you know what invented it?
What?
Yeah, go to Palace Walls.
Yeah,
Like-
this is the area we were at before.
And by invented it, I mean that they technically has done this even before voice acting with speech bubbles. You know what invented that? This, the constant dialogue over gameplay?
What?
And it makes a lot of sense if you hear it.
That's kind of cool that I got this. It's not
Yeah.
good, but
Yeah. Spider-Man games.
oh yeah.
They've been like, when they had voice acting, they've been doing it in like every game, and even before voice acting, like later levels of Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage do it.
Shit, that's high.
Yeah, that is super high. What's it called? That Japan only SNES Spider-Man game did it. There are some other 2D Spider-Man games that did it, and they did it with speech bubbles. And when the voice acting came, then they did it. You could also say like Star Fox, and I would definitely give them credit for that too. But the thing is, Star Fox's dialogue is like pretty much entirely scripted. They don't have like, you know, the quips and stuff. So like I'm giving and again the speed with when you bring speed bubbles into it, Spider-Man's definitely done it before Star Fox. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna give Spider-Man the credit for this, not Uncharted, as much as I love Uncharted. And the reason why Spider-Man did it is because that is key to Spider-Man as a property. It's not something they invented for Spider-Man games because, oh yeah, let's just do something for a game. It's because they're like, how can we bring this part of Spider-Man, Spider-Man's identity into this game? And then they invented this way to do it with these like almost unscripted quips and stuff, dialogue over action without any cutscene breaks or anything. And they did it. And that was cool. But then for some reason, almost no other games done it until like Uncharted did. And like Uncharted isn't even the first mainstream game to do it, you know? Grand Theft Auto's been doing it before Uncharted, but Uncharted's the one that gets the credit.
Yeah.
And Grand Theft Auto, by the way, took it from Star Fox. Like, one of the developers specifically said that they took it from Star Fox, that they liked the talking Star Fox did. But again, I'm still like, you guys are just leaving Spider-Man out of the conversation. The only time that a licensed game really got credit for being influential was Arkham Combat. That's it. And the Arkham games don't even get credit for like everything else that the games copy from them. They just get credit for the combat, which is weird because like there's Detective Vision. A lot of games have been doing Detective Vision. You can keep going down the cave.
Oh, okay.
You know, a lot of games do Detective Vision now, but like no one ever mentions that.
Yeah. Should I just reset here actually, or should I just keep going?
If you want.
Yeah, might as well.
And so, yeah, like, and so like going back, like Alien vs Predator, Capcom's hit fighting game, even if it's one of Capcom's like, it actually is one of Capcom's most beloved beat 'em ups. It's pretty like no one really like, and even if people are like, yeah, the combat is great, no one ever like thinks about maybe this also influenced Capcom's other action games, you know? And it did.
Yeah, people don't really think of like one of the, like, people talk a lot about games as art, right?
Yeah.
And one of the major things that's lacking from that conversation is influence. People don't really think about that, and when they do, it's like, did you know? Like, it's like a did you know gaming type thing.
People don't
It's like
like
just random trivia. It's like, did you know that blah, blah, blah?
people don't like that. People hate. People don't want to admit that. People don't like it when you say that. People just think it's just. People just want to say it's not true, or that it's a reach. Like for some reason, like, and this isn't even just a game thing. I think people like at least with modern audiences, people have a problem admitting that something has influence. That something was influenced by something. That something was inspired by something that they don't want to hear. They want the thing they like to be this super original thing.
I think it's because the idea of the entertainment industry, kind of as a whole, the idea of entertainment as a business rather than just an art or a shared set of human experiences, high art, so to speak, is a relatively new thing, and it has kind of consumed the way that we interact with media.
Yeah. So, what's it called? Well, I talk I talk a lot about Tales series and its fighting game influence. There's a lot of people who just straight up say, "Yeah, that's a reach. Yeah, I don't see it. Yeah, I don't really know what you're talking about with the fighting game influence there." And I'm like, I'm just like, I'm not making this up. They literally get Tekken and Soul Calibur devs for like half these games. They have like actual like they have straight up references to fighting games. Not only Tekken and Soul Calibur, other Namco fighting games, but also like yeah.
MP Haste.
That would have made Lingering Will even easier.
Yeah,
but you didn't need that, did you?
Nope.
Just like you don't need those stat boosts. Don't use them.
Something about this is just funny to me.
Use your drive recoveries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's fine. I don't need the high drive recovery. Doesn't matter.
Like I posted this in what's it called, Coolest Scrabble the other day. The whole, what's it called? I don't know if you saw it, but it was the Tales of the Rays referenced the Shungoku Satsu.
Yes.
Yeah.
I posted that.
Oh, it was actually Tales of Destiny Director's Cut reference to Shungoku Satsu, and Tales of the Rays kept that reference, which was great. And this same character, by the way, also has Heihachi's 10-hit combo.
That's cool.
But yeah, they also just had the Sengoku Satsu, and I'm like, when you have things like that, like, how can you honestly say, yeah, there's no fighting game influence? Yeah, and it's like, it's not even just me. Like they've admitted it. They call it a fighting game. Like, if you like talk, like even like. You go to like Giant Bomb or something, and their article for LMBS, they'll say fighting influence. Like, in fact, even like mainstream reviewers, I've read mainstream reviews for some of the older games like Symphonia and Fantasia, and they will just specifically just say, "Oh yeah, it plays like Street Fighter," because it does.
That's the whole point. That's what they're going.
Like, it is not even subtle. You know, you're in a 2D plane, you attack your opponent, it goes first attack, you do a combo, they get dizzied, you knock them down, you get them in the corner, you put them in the blender. This isn't a reach here.
Oh, it's just what the game is.
And the Demon Fang is just Power Wave. Tiger Blade is just Power Dunk. You know, and the fact that the fact that they have this projectile and this anti-air as part of the main Tails swordsman moveset, and then sometimes they will have like forward moving attacks like Tempest Strike.
Actually, you know what's funny?
That makes the Tails sword fighter a Shoto, and that is intentional. What were you gonna say?
You know what's even weirder is that you made me think of. You know what I've seen, which like completely baffles me?
What?
There are people that even... I've seen some people who are like this. There are people who even get kind of salty when you have certain fighting games referencing certain other fighting games. Like, I remember seeing that with Pokken Tournament for some reason. Like, people where like there are people I've seen people who didn't even like the Tekken references, and while I'm sure that's like too bizarre even from the perspective of people not liking, you know, things like people not liking it when you admit things have influence on other things, because that's like, well, no fucking shit. Like a lot of other communities, even Smash will be like, wow, isn't it cool that like Smash references all of these? Like, if anything, actually, the Smash community is the opposite. They get mad when fighters don't reference their games and things,
and they miss the references.
Yeah, well, yeah, they do that too, because a lot of people who play Smash only play Smash. But like that at least is a better mindset to, like, you know, like actually like the references, actually like that history is being referenced, and that's like, you know, that's
but then on the other hand, they get mad when they know the references, but then they're like, oh, this character's OP for referencing their game. Like, they hate that Bayonetta is so combo heavy, when like it wouldn't be Bayonetta if he wasn't combo heavy. And
it's also like something that I remember everyone was asking for.
Yeah, and then you get the opposite in Smash Ultimate, where what's it called? Bayonetta mains from Smash 4 are mad that their combo that does 70% damage doesn't also kill, but that's a completely different, unrelated thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's it called? People get mad at what's it called? The Street Fighter characters being as combo heavy as they are, and basically working like Street Fighter. Like, so I remember someone getting mad that what's it called? Focus attack just straight up goes through shield. It doesn't even shield break. It just goes through shield. And I'm like, first of all, that's actually worse than a shield break. And second of all, that's what focus attack does. When charged, it breaks your guard. They intentionally made it go through shield. They programmed it. It didn't just make it do
it's
shield
because
break.
In Street Fighter,
yes,
actual Street Fighter,
when you charge
if
your
someone
focus
is
attack,
focus attacking in front of you, you have two options. You try to get aggressive and hit them with like a multi-hit move.
Yeah.
And most characters in Street Fighter, especially Street Fighter 4, well, not even especially, it has to be, because it's the only mainstream Street Fighter that has universal focus attacks. Most characters have multi-hit moves,
and even if they don't, they can just do crouching jab twice.
Yeah, or they have some fast normal, or you just throw them.
Yeah,
like it is exactly the same in Smash. If you want to deal with focus attacks in Smash, hit them with a multi-hit move or throw them.
I mean, granted, I don't see that many people complain about focus attacks now, but like,
no, because
I've seen it. That's the point here. Like, you like a game for referencing other things, and then you get mad when it works exactly.
You know
like
what it is? It's the people don't. It wouldn't be something people openly complain about, but it is something where I feel like Smash players, and this is another word that they like using that annoys me. They would use the words like dishonest to describe that move, which I hate. That it's a nonsense word that means nothing.
Yeah. What's it called? And then. Oh, and then, you know, remember when the game just came out and everybody was complaining about Belmont just being like this, just a zoner and nothing else?
Yeah, and it's like, dude, what did you think was gonna happen?
This is like,
it's fucking Castlevania.
Have you played a Castlevania game?
I've literally only played a Castlevania game for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, when I made you play Castlevania 3, and that's literally how it played.
And I'm like, I knew that was gonna happen because that's the game.
It's like,
it is a platformer where you play as a zoner.
Yeah,
that
and
is
you
how
fight against Footsie Skeleton and Set Play Frog.
Yeah, like that's actually I think the reason why I did like decently well when in that run where I played Castlevania 3. Despite having never really touched a Castlevania game before, is because of that mindset. I was like, okay, well, I've played zoners in fighting games. I'll just play him. You play act like just a fighting game zoner, and it's like that's how they want you to play the game. That's how they're designed.
Yeah, you're not agile. You don't have any combos. You don't have any multi hits. You don't have any movement options. What you do have is a lot of range.
You gotta abuse that.
No, I hate that word, Sam. It's not abuse. That's just how it is. I hate, like, oh my god, this is a completely different conversation, but I hate, and this isn't, I know exactly why this happens, but I hate how most people see invincibility frames. If you intentionally use invincibility frames, you call it abusing invincibility frames. And I hate that so much. And like, I know exactly why it happens. It's because most people's first and perhaps only like introduction to like completely obvious invincibility frames is in platformers, where you get mercy invincibility upon getting hit. And then everybody who has played sufficient amount of platformers has probably run into like moments where they can damage boost, which most of the time is not intentional. In fact, I don't know any mainstream platformer where damage boosting is intentional. And it's like, yes, okay, that might be an abuse of invincibility frames, but that is not how it is for any other game that has invincibility frames. Stop saying that. I will, like, and it really baffles me, because like I'm watching AGDQ and the speedrunners say, oh yeah, I just got abused invincibility frames here, and they're playing Resident Evil 4. That's not a game where they're abused. That's intentional. It's an action game. The invincibility frames are there for you to use them. They're not even that big or obvious compared to platformers. Like, I guarantee you, if you made a developer play a Resident Evil 4, play it in front of you, he would use those invincibility frames in the same way, because that's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
When you like play on higher difficulties, especially, you're like, that's your only option. You don't have a choice of not using invincibility frames. And then what's it called? This happened with God of War. In God of War, the throws in God of War have invincibility frames for the entire animation. And I remember complaining about the fact that new God of War doesn't have throws once, and someone's like, actually, they moved the throws to when you kill an enemy, you know, the time of the coup de grace stuff. And I'm like, that's not a throw. But they're like, you move the throw to only when the enemy's already dead, basically. That way you don't abuse the invincibility frames. And I'm like, have you played Classic God of War? It's not abusing. If you play on Classic God of War and you play the higher difficulties, you realize that it's entirely intentional. You are supposed to be grabbing as much as possible for the invincibility frames.
And for anyone who is like watching this being like rolling their eyes and being like, oh, you know, that's dumb. That's just that you're just complaining about a semantics thing. The problem is the word abuse has certain connotations. And in the context of what I just said about moves being, for example, dishonest, people can get really salty when, even in a single-player game where it literally shouldn't matter, you play a certain way.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I just brought that up with God of War. This person was honestly saying, oh, it's better that you don't have throws now, because now it's... They even say more balanced or more honest, but that's basically what he was thinking, that you can't abuse invincibility frames. And it's like, no, it's not better now. If you like it more, fine, but it's not like, it's not a straight up better thing because it wasn't a problem before.
Like this
it's
is
just a different design.
This is why we talk so much about scrubs, and I think it's like, it's the type of shit that like Dave Serlin was talking about in his book. And it's like, if you're playing a fighting game and the guy you're playing just crouching jabs you until you die, that's like, understandably, that you wouldn't feel good losing that way. That's fine. The problem is people will take that and be like, "Oh, this game sucks because that can happen to me."
Oh,
like,
you want to talk
crouching
about
jab because it's too good and too fast.
You want to talk about scrubs? Let's talk about Kingdom Hearts scrubs, okay? I'm talking about people who have never done a like challenge run for Kingdom Hearts in their life. If they see you do one, they will just go like, okay, now do it like this. Now do it on this boss. And it's like, come on. Like literally, it's happened to me when I've done my no movements, and it's like, okay, now do this boss. And I'm like, first of all, I'm already planning to. So he was like, okay, yeah, now do no movement on Sephiroth. Boom, I did no movement on Sephiroth. He's like, now do no movement Data Rock. Boom, I did that. I'm not talking about the guy that that was like, I give you a month. That's my friend. He wasn't talking like that.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, and then like I see it on every other Kingdom Hearts challenge player too. Like not just speedrunners, just challenge players. They're like, oh yeah, I'll just do it like this. Like for some reason, people get really smug about like people wanting to like do challenge on the Kingdom Hearts that they're like, oh yeah,
it's not the phrase.
Like, what have you done? Okay,
it's not that the phrase in itself is bad, because sometimes people are literally just requesting like, oh hey, that's a cool strat, would that work on like this boss or something,
or they're like, I want to see you do this because I think you can, which is sort of what my friend was doing when he was like, I'll give you a week, no, I'll give you a month.
But and like there's some fun to that. Like I know there are like I know there are bounties and things where it's like, if someone manages to do this in some time frame, I'll pay you like $1,000 or something.
But I know for a fact that some of these people don't even watch the video, because I literally would just post the video, and in the Discord I would be like, here, I did this boss no movement, and
we're
then
on time, right?
We're good. Yeah, you can cut it.
Yeah, we'll end your conversation.
Compare it to the backup save.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll cut it. Like just let's finish this conversation and we can cut it.
Yeah, I was just saying that like as soon as I posted to the Discord, I did this boss no movement, this guy would be like, now do it on Sephiroth, and it was like you didn't even watch the video. It's been 5 seconds. Okay. My video's views haven't gone up. Okay, what are you doing? You're not actually engaging with me. You're not actually interested. You're just acting smug about someone doing challenge runs for Kingdom Hearts. Yeah. And then like I see other people have the same problem. Like someone made a joke.
I might even be able to just level up right here.
Someone made a joke on Twitter about like, oh yeah, like beat Zigbar with a bop it. Like someone made that was a joke they made in response
like that
to
kind
someone
of
doing that.
I remember seeing that tweet. Like, that kind of shit is just like that makes me roll my eyes too. It's like, all right, that's not a productive comment. Like if you actually want to see like a cool challenge run and you're like, you should try this because I think it's doable. Like that's fine. You can debate,
you could just do it yourself.
Yeah, you could debate the plausibility of challenge runs.
And also, like, who are you? You know, if a Kingdom Hearts pro player came to me and said, now do it with a bop pit, I'd be like, oh, word? All right. But this is a rando. This is a guy that I know for a fact has never done anything with this series in his life. Honestly, I couldn't even tell if he's played critical mode. Maybe he has. That's not the point. Now, this stuff happens with like any other game with challenge runs. Like people just get really smug about challenge runs in general. I think because part of the reason for that is because they see it as pointless. It's only the existence of AGDQ that made people stop doing that for speedruns. And that's one of the things that I will give AGDQ credit for. Actually, I'll give AGDQ credit for a lot of things. I don't hate the event as much as I'll like talk smack about it. But I'm like
the problems with AGDQ are more organizational.
Yeah,
than just the content.
Yeah, but then now it has a separate issue of people only respecting speedruns and acting like that's the best way to play the game. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
No, God, speedrunners intentionally get hit. That's not a good play.
It warps your perception of the games, definitely. All right, I think we'll probably
let's cut it here. All right, guys, we'll see it. See you next time,
where we will probably have finished everything.
Mm-hmm.